So we have a new schedule of wrestling moving forward. So before it would pretty much be wrestling back to back to back, like at least when it comes to WWE. Like you'd have Raw on Monday and then SmackDown on Tuesday and then NXT on Wednesday, and it would all just be like close together. But now, at least when it comes to WWE, it's kind of, I like it how it's like dispersed throughout the week. So on Monday you have Raw, Wednesday it's NXT, and now it's on the USA Network, which is really cool. And then Friday is SmackDown on Fox. So I like how it's evenly divided throughout the week so that you're not completely overwhelmed, like day after day after day of wrestling. But if you want to watch wrestling every day, you can watch Impact on Tuesdays on Access TV. You can watch NXT UK on Thursdays. And also, AEW is also on Wednesdays, which is going to be really interesting. So I don't even know where to begin. I guess we'll start off talking about Raw. How it's... So they're going to have the season premiere this week, which is, that the whole thing about seasons is kind of stupid when it comes to weekly television, but they're just doing it to hype up Raw because they got,
well, you know why?
Because you got a lot of they're changing the set. You got a lot of attention on NXT because the head to head with AEW, and it's finally moving to 2 hours on the USA Network, because the past couple of weeks it's been like 1 hour on USA and then the other hour on the network. And then of course the big thing is going to be Friday SmackDown on Fox. So they want to have something for people to care about Raw, so the ratings aren't too bad. So you got Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio in the main event. People are saying someone's going to interfere. I don't even think that's going to happen. I think Seth Rollins having a clean win over Mysterio would be okay, because Rey Mysterio's career is kind of winding down, so I don't think he needs to be that protected. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think Bray Wyatt needs to interfere and cost anyone the match or disqualify. He could definitely show up after the match, but I think Seth Rollins having a clean win, building momentum up into Hell in a Cell, would be the best thing for him to do. I think that's what they're going to do with that. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but that's what I think is going to happen, at least when it comes to that Universal title match.
You think it's going to be a good show?
Yeah, I think it's going to be also Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, or Robert Roode, whatever, versus Heavy Machinery for the tag belts.
It looks like a pretty good show, to be honest with you. Got a lot of good things going on. I'm excited about the set. I'm excited about the pyro. Team. The commentary team is what I'm most excited for, because I never watch 205 Live, or if I do, it's always on mute.
So it's going to be fresh and new, basically.
Jerry the King Lawler, some dude from 205 Live, and I don't remember the other person. He might be from 205 Live too.
They're both from 205 Live. It's Vic Joseph who's going to be the play-by-play commentator. Who the thing is, I don't really watch too many 205 Live, so I don't know how good or bad its commentary is. I think I might have heard him a couple times, because you know how they have the cruiserweight matches on pay-per-view every now and then. So the 205 Live team is on pay-per-view every now and then. He's from what I remember, he was pretty good, actually. And then you have Dio Madden, who was he was a former NFL player who transitioned into wrestling, but they didn't really have much for him to do wrestling wise. So now he's doing commentary. So he's going to be on the team, and then Jerry the King Lawler. It's going to be an interesting new dynamic, and Raw's definitely going to be the new SmackDown, in the sense that, you know how SmackDown was always like the land of opportunity. It gave opportunity to all these, younger, less utilized talents and give them a push. I think Raw's now going to be that show, because SmackDown, when it's going to be a big network, Fox, and they're going to try to have as much star power as possible, and to make sure the ratings are as good as they can be. So SmackDown's going to be the new A show. They want the Fiend, but I don't think they're going to get the Fiend. I think
no, they're not getting it.
We're going to talk about the draft later on, but I think I'm really excited. This is definitely going to be a really good week for wrestling. Raw's going to be pretty solid, and then Wednesday it's going to be NXT versus AEW. I'm sure most people are going to watch AEW over NXT, especially considering that Adam Cole might not even be able to wrestle on Wednesday, which is just going to be a huge blow to NXT's ratings if the NXT champion can't wrestle for the belt, because that's supposed to be the main event. So that's kind of
Is that a legit injury, or is that bullshit?
It's a legit injury. Yeah, it's legit. They don't know if he's going to be able to. They've had a lot of injuries for NXT. What's that guy's name? Dominic. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. He got injured.
Digravac?
Yeah. He got injured. Adam Cole was injured. A couple, like I think there was a woman wrestler that was also injured. Oh yeah, it's also going to be Candice LeRae versus Shayna Baszler. Candice is definitely going to win the belt.
No, she's not.
Because they're talking about moving. I mean, we're going to talk about it later. Because one of my draft picks is Shayna Baszler moving to Raw. Because they talk a lot about Shayna Baszler getting called up, and I think it's time. She's been in the main roster for a while. I mean, she's been on NXT for a while. I think it's time for a call up for her. So I mean, I think definitely. I mean, if I had to make a prediction about the ratings for this Wednesday, I would say that AEW outpaces NXT by quite a bit. Especially if the NXT champion is sidelined, then that's just gonna totally kill any interest in that show.
I disagree. No, AEW is going to go 750. NXT is going to go over 1 million.
Really?
Yep. AEW is not going to do more than 750. If it does, I'd be extremely happy, but I don't think it will. I don't think it's
possible for each show to do like 1 million each. I think that's too much.
So. No, I mean, I think NXT is going to do better just because of the WWE name value. Listen, here's the thing. It doesn't matter about the first week rating. It matters about the 6th month and the 7th month. And when time passes... Hold on.
Is that Scott Steiner?
Right? It matters about what's going to happen months from down the road because you're going to have all this hype, all this shit, which is great. It's amazing, but is any of it going to last? Is NXT going to do good in 6 months? Is AEW going to be around in 6 months? I hope so.
So you think if AEW tanks in the ratings, they're going to move to Thursdays or something like that?
No, not at all. They're going to stick on Wednesday. I mean, they did copyright Tuesday Night Dynamite as well, so maybe they would move to Tuesdays, but I don't think so. I don't think they're going to back down. Cody was talking about it. They're not trying to be reactionary. They don't want to be that type of company. So
right, because that would kind of be like admitting defeat if they move to a different network.
Yeah,
and that would probably hurt their reputation.
Yep.
But we'll see. I mean, it's definitely going to be a good week. Are you going to like DVR one of them and watch both of them eventually, or are you just going to just watch one of them?
I'm going to watch them both. I'm going to watch them both live. I'll get one on my computer.
Are you going to watch AEW like mostly, or?
I don't know. I don't know. We were too young to live the Monday Night Wars, so I don't know how. Like, I know people.
Technically, that's not true. That's not true. We got the TNA Monday Night War.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That was a real fucking war.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. To be honest with you, I'm pretty confused as to what. I don't know. It sucks. I feel like I'm gonna watch both just as much. Like, I'm gonna watch both in their totality. But I'll probably watch AEW more the first night.
Yeah, here's the thing. I know this is not going to be popular with a lot of the wrestling, the online wrestling community, but I've watched AEW. I watched the first show, which was Double or Nothing, and I was not very impressed at all. Like, I was bored most of the time. I'm like, who the hell are these people? Why should I care about them? Like, all these no-name wrestlers that just do flips and kicks and nothing else. So I was not very impressed by AEW from what I saw, and I saw the lineup for the debut show. It's gonna be the Elite versus Chris Jericho and Mystery Partners, which is gonna be LAX. I'm like, why would I? And that's gonna be their main event. Like, why the hell would I care about that? Like, that doesn't sound too exciting for me. You know.
You know what? But I think the thing is that, listen, I expected more. Like, everyone's like, oh, they're gonna blow WWE out the water with their wrestling and shit like that, and their wrestling has been good, but it hasn't been like crazy. Like, there hasn't been any like crazy 5-star match or anything like that yet. Like, the Jericho Kenny Omega match was really good. The match with Hangman Page and Jericho was cool. The match with Kenny and Pac, like, all these matches that everyone was so crazed about, they haven't been like spectacular, blown out the water type matches yet. Yeah. So that kind of made me feel underwhelmed because, like, they're billing this as like, and maybe it's my own expectations that's making me feel like this, but like, when you saw them in New Japan, they just felt a little bit more. I don't know if special is the word, but the match quality hasn't been as good. Honestly, my favorite match that AEW's probably put on has been like Cody Rhodes versus Darby Allin, RB Down, whatever the fuck his name is.
You don't even know his name. See, that's the problem.
No. But that's the thing. Darby Allin's his name. He made a star to Darby Allin that night. That's why that's my favorite fucking match. So when you say why should I care about them? You got to give them a chance because like MJF is fucking amazing. He's great.
EC4, yeah.
EC4, he's not bad. They don't have bad talent. It's just like the wrestling hasn't really blown me out the water yet, and I'm kind of concerned. I mean, they've had great matches, but nothing's like, holy shit. I mean, the most crazy match they had was like the ladder match, but that's not like the best fucking match ever.
I will give them one thing. They're having a nice like balance between creating their own original stars and just signing all the WWE rejects. Because TNA was just the WWE retirement home, basically.
Yeah, that's why this is unique, because they're creating their own stars right now, and I appreciate that.
Because even the ones from WWE, like Jon Moxley, he's completely different from how he was in WWE. Like, you can't even compare it. He has more creative freedom and everything, and you're going to see more, like, he's probably going to have the best run of his career in AEW, definitely.
I don't think they've delivered on the level that I wanted them to deliver on yet. I mean, I'm still going to give them a chance. I'm still going to watch them, and I want them to do great. But I don't think their wrestling quality has been blown out the water. Like, I fell asleep during one of the shows.
Me too.
I was kind of bored. I was like, all right, I'm getting a little bored over here. And it's cool Chris Jericho's the champion. It's good for the publicity and shit. But at the same time, the match quality... Like, he needs to not try to have a technical match. He just needs to go back to that Bruiser Brody type style.
He's pushing 50. He's got to change the way he does things, definitely.
Yeah, he's got to do that.
Don't get me wrong, like, all props to Jericho for still being, like, one of the top faces of the entire industry, like, almost 30 years after being in the industry. He's always reinventing himself, but I don't know. I'm not going to say I've seen enough of Jericho, but... I don't know. I mean, I guess putting the belt on him was smart because so Kenny Omega, but I feel like that was like the too obvious thing to do, putting it on him. And then
they had to put it on Jericho. They had to.
Paige wasn't ready, so.
Yeah, no, listen. Paige is fucking amazing, by the way. Paige is going to be a great talent. That's another person who's great. But they had to put the belt on Jericho because it made the most business sense. But, at the same time, it's like,
But I think I think it's very smart what they're doing because NXT and AEW are kind of like appealing to the same type of wrestling fan who cares more about the technical wrestling than the actual storytelling. Like there's good storytelling, like on those shows, but they're more wrestling focused than let's say like a Raw or a SmackDown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think they'll both carve up a decent piece of the pie. Like they'll both get good ratings. I think. Like they'll.
You think it'll beat NXT in 6 months?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I can't say until I know what their actual, because as of right now, they don't have a product. Like they've had a couple of shows, and we'll find out Wednesday if it's actually good or not, and if it lives up to the hype. But I can't make a prediction if I don't know what their actual like presentation is going to be. It could be amazing. It could be totally crappy. It's probably going to be somewhere in between, honestly.
I think it's going to do well. I just hope it sustains like the popularity that it has now. I hope it gets bigger. Like, competition is good, and it's not competition for the main roster really because it's on a completely different day, but it also is at the same time. I'm cautiously optimistic about it because my expectations have not been met yet, and hopefully I'm proven wrong.
Yeah. So but
I'm really excited for Impact though. Impact Access TV, Access TV, Twitch.com/Impact. That's what I'm really excited for.
I guess we could talk about that for a little bit, yeah.
No, there's nothing to talk about. Nobody fucking cares. There's nothing to say. There's nothing to say.
The only thing to say is that it's really smart that they just bought Access TV so they don't have to worry about, so Anthem doesn't have to ever worry about Impact getting booted off.
Yeah, I mean, like, ratings. No, the one thing that they did and I messaged you this, and you told me I'm stupid for this. They're capitalizing. You told me it's not a wrestling boom. This is a little bit of like a wrestling boom. There's there's so much wrestling content going on. There's so much shit. Especially there's this opportunity where now you don't have to work in WWE to make money, to be successful, and be famous. They saw a slot where it said, okay, Mondays we can't compete. Wednesdays we can't compete. Friday we can't compete. Thursday's kind of a dead day. Let's just fucking throw it in the middle between Monday Night Raw, the biggest show, and then Wednesday AEW, the other biggest show of the week. They threw it right in there on Tuesdays, and it's starting this Tuesday. It's genius. Will it have any traction? I fucking doubt it. I hope Impact does well, but in my eyes, it's kind of a dead brand at this point. But I understand what they did, which is cool.
I mean, it's been dead since about 2012. Like, they haven't really gained any traction.
They're bringing Ken Shamrock versus Moose. I don't want to see. I wanted to see Ken Shamrock wrestle 10 years ago. I'm not saying he can't go at it. He probably is really good still, but at the same time, I don't have an interest in seeing him anymore.
He's like 55, 56. Like, come on.
He's older than Goldberg. 56. Yeah. It's just, I'm not interested in it at this point.
I think the big thing, definitely, like, by far, is going to be Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. You got a WWE title match. Kingston. You have Kofi Kingston versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship.
What do you think that show's going to do with ratings?
Well, considering that Fox... Okay, so here's the thing about Fox, which is very interesting. So I do not, as of right now, I don't have any access to Fox at all. Because what happened...
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard, because it was like WWE was like talking about it. Dish Network got completely cut off from Fox. Like, they had a dispute between Dish and Fox, so that's about like 14, 15 million people who have no access to any Fox channels at all, including the actual Fox channel. So I'm part of that. I have no access to Fox come Friday. Now, of course we can, we have ways of watching wrestling for free, so I'll be able to see it. So I'll be able to watch it. But that's the other thing about Fridays, is that it's kind of a tricky time because Friday's the day where people aren't necessarily at home as much as they are on Monday nights and Wednesday nights. So I heard like they're trying to appeal to the younger audience, but the problem is that it's usually like the older people who are watching TV on Friday nights. So I mean, I don't know. Like it's definitely going to be a lot better. Like they're definitely going to it's definitely a big upgrade from being on USA Network on Tuesday nights, no matter what, because it's still like a public channel that most people have access to, and it's going to be it's a good spot for them. But I don't know how it's going to work exactly. Like if it's gonna the ratings might be like, so usually SmackDown averages about 2 million viewers on USA. I think at least for the first show they'll be able to get at least 3 million, like no problem. But especially if you have man. I mean, the title match is one thing. It's going to be a completely new presentation of the show. I think it's in good shape, but I don't know what the long-term future is. Like if the ratings don't hold up to certain standards, will Fox just drop it? I don't know.
I think so. I think they want it to get at least 3 million viewers a week, which is a doable goal. They just need to, put out a good product. I mean, SmackDown in 2016, when the original brand split occurred, we were talking about that every day. Like, that shit was amazing with Styles and Cena and Ambrose and all these crazy things. It was good. And then after that initial draft, it just went downhill so bad. Like, they just gave
2017, yeah.
They gave everything to Raw, and it was like,
the superstar shakeup, yeah. It was awful.
I'm just happy that this rule of crossing between brands.
Wild card, yeah. It's fucking awful. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good thing. But I think Brock Lesnar's definitely winning the belt. I mean, didn't I tell you this like a couple of months ago that Brock Lesnar's going to be the next champion? You're like, how? Like you didn't understand. Yeah.
You think he's going to win it, or you think he's going to win it at Hell in a Cell?
There's no way they're going to book him for two shows in a row. There's going to be no WWE title match at Hell in a Cell at all.
I don't think there should be. I think it's already pretty much a stacked card. I think he should win it at Fox and make it special. And then
But it's just gonna be crazy how like now we're gonna now we're gonna be talking about SmackDown being the A show. It's gonna be a completely different dynamic now.
Who do you think's taking the title off of him in the long run? If you had to choose, if you think he was taking it from someone at Mania,
what I want versus what's gonna actually happen. So what's gonna actually happen? I would probably say, as much as it pains me to say this, Roman Reigns is probably gonna take the belt from him again. Which I really don't want to see. I really don't want to see that match again. I don't know about you, but I think we're done with Brock and Roman.
Well, who do you want to take the title off of Brock?
I mean, so I got my draft picks that we'll talk about later, but you know, it's a tough thing because Brock Lesnar. There's not a lot of people. I mean, you gotta. I mean, it depends.
I have one person.
Who?
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens, really?
If they want to make him a grade B Stone Cold, there's no better way to do it than having him have a dominant victory over Lesnar, or at least a competitive match.
You're just saying that because Kevin Owens is your favorite wrestler.
No, I'm saying that because who else would you pick? If you did a draft, who else is there?
It also depends on how long he's going to hold the belt. Is he going to hold it until WrestleMania, or is he going to? I mean, I don't know how long his contract is going to be, because I think at this point he's definitely done with MMA, so there's not much else for him to do.
Yeah,
I think he's just going to ride it out until he just doesn't want to do it anymore. I mean, it's not really taking a toll on his body. He's wrestling a couple times a year, you know?
Yeah, I think he's going to lose it at Mania, and I think it should be to Owens, out of all people.
Yeah. I mean,
I can't see anyone else.
We'll talk about it. We'll kind of talk about that more when we talk about the draft. But it's just
okay. Before we move on to the draft,
yeah.
How many viewers is Impact getting its first week on Access TV?
I'd say like its first week on Access. I'd say like 30,000.
I'm not gonna. Oh, you say 30? Okay. I think 12.
12,000. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people have access. At least a lot of people that I know.
You know the funny thing. You know the funny thing. I have access to Access, but I don't have access to Fox.
Well, it looks like you're going to be joining some Tuesday night TNA instead of WWE on Fridays.
I'm gonna get some tits and ass wrestling.
Yeah. All right, on to the next.
All right.